What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the word responsibility? I know that's kind of a big word, but for most of us, unconsciously, that can scare us, especially if we had trauma associated with a time in our life when we took responsibility and it didn't work out well, or we got punished, or something bad happened. And, the more that happened, the more that gets ingrained in our subconscious programming. And a lot of times we say we want something, or we want to create something, and the underlying cause of resistance, of procrastination, of self-sabotage, of anxiety, maybe, not always, but maybe the fear of taking responsibility. And that's because it's attached to a trauma. So our bodies always remember painful and happy experiences, but more the painful experiences, so we won't do it again. Now, it doesn't mean that this experience is going to be painful. Our mind just automatically go into its file, and it goes back to previous experiences, and then it says, oh, am I safe in this situation, or I'm not safe in this situation? And a part of us will put the brakes on. And this is what happens, a lot with, like mindset coaches and things like that. Like, no, you need to just think better, you need to just keep going and plow through. But there's a part of us over here that's saying, wait, I'm scared. Like, can you just help me feel a little bit more safe so I can ride along with you? Because that's the brakes, that's the resistance, that's the self-sabotage, this part that just wants to feel safe. It's doing its job. All parts of us are serving, all parts of us are doing their job. The problem is we want to fight against that part. We want to force that part into doing something that maybe it just doesn't feel safe doing. And a more loving approach would be wanting to understand that part. Where did it buy into some type of misunderstanding that it's not safe for us to whatever? I lived with anxiety for over 23 years. And the underlying reason was because I felt that I wasn't capable of making the right decision. So life is making decisions, right? Life is taking personal responsibility for our thoughts, feelings, actions, and behaviors. And you can't live without making decisions. You can't really live without taking responsibility, right? So my responsibility went into focusing on my food and weight and controlling like my life around that. And that became a way I lived for over 23 years. I didn't break outside of that box. That was a box I was living in. It was a prison I was living in. No matter how hard I tried, no matter how many treatment centers and therapy I went to, it didn't matter because they weren't helping me understand the underlying cause, which, part of me was scared. Part of me didn't feel safe. My inner child was punished whenever she did anything, quote, wrong, but my mind got twisted. It got these beliefs like, if I do anything, I'm going to do it wrong. If I do it wrong, I'm going to be punished, so don't do anything. Don't do anything. How can you live? Don't do anything. So eat, exercise, go to sleep. Eat, exercise, go to sleep was how I lived for over 23 years. What a life, eh? So, what's important is please don't ever fight against yourself if you're having an experience like self-sabotage, anxiety, or whatever, or depression. Any symptom is just showing us there's something going on internally that needs attention, that needs loving, that needs care, that needs understanding. And we can learn how to meet those needs of that part today. We didn't have the tools when we were younger. We didn't have the tools when we were going through that experience, probably because the people around us didn't show us, right? So today there's so much help out there. There's so many people who do understand that there's an underlying cause to every symptom we're having. Search out those people. I'm one of them. If you would like support from me, I would love to support you on your journey. And there's always a way to make peace with those parts of us that we want to shove aside. There's always a way to make peace of all parts of us. Please, when a part is asking for attention, please don't try to numb it. Please don't try to run away from it. Please don't try to deny it, because that just creates inner conflict. We talk about fragmentation. That's what fragmentation is. We become whole by embracing all parts of our beings, all parts of us. It helps us to understand ourselves better. We want to understand those parts who are crying out for help. This is how we grow up physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So many of us have grown up physically. We're adults, in an adult body, but some of us are still 3 or 4 or 5 years old emotionally. And that's where our blueprint gets started. And for me, like I said, taking responsibility, well, I didn't want to do that. So, all this resistance came up, especially when I wanted something, because even when I want something, I might do it wrong. If I do it wrong, I'll be punished. So that's not with my conscious thinking. That's what the body is running on. So I invite you today, next time, invite you today to do it now, or next time you have some type of procrastination or self-sabotage or ideas of that. If you're struggling with the eating disorder, anxiety, or depression, take a deep breath and be with that part of you. Notice where that part lives in your body. Hold yourself there. Be with that part of you. Ask it what it wants and needs. Just let it speak. Sometimes our conscious thinking mind will get in the way and show us something, that may not make sense. Not that back up. The conscious thinking mind may make up a story that has nothing to do with actually what's going on internally. Because there's the surface feeling and there's that deeper feeling. That deeper feeling, our protector part will keep us from going there, because that's where the deep hurt and shame and pain lives. And our protector part doesn't want us to go there because it doesn't want us to feel it, right? So, but that's the only way we're actually going to move forward more easily. That's the only way we're actually going to experience inner peace. And it's kind of a double bind, right? So we experience inner peace by going into the hurt and pain. And it's really the only way. Because once we see that we can get through it, once we see that we're okay, once we go into that energy, maybe we won't feel okay, but we see that we can go into it and survive it. If you've had some deep trauma, I encourage you to be quote responsible and get support from somebody that can hold a space of love for you, because it's not easy going into that. It's reactivating that part of us that put up our defenses for a reason, put up our protective mechanisms for a reason. And that part maybe just needs someone to hold their hand. It's okay. You're worth being supported and loved and cared for. You're worth it. You may not have had anybody tell you that, or you may not believe it, but I'm here to tell you that you are. And I know it took me a while to really get that at my core, because I had all these things going on inside of me, all these ideas, all these concepts, beliefs that didn't resonate with that. But through the healing that I've done, I've gotten to understand that we all are worthy of being loved, supported, cherished, and adored, and we're worthy of experiencing a beautiful life journey. And that includes taking personal responsibility and feeling empowered to do so, not feeling like we can't. And that's the other, spectrum of it. When we go into that and we see that, hey, you know what, we find that power that's been in us all along that has also been suppressed. We bring that part up. There's all these different parts of us that we're not even in touch with because we suppress them because of whatever reason, that we were told along the way. And this is where true healing takes place, by understanding all parts of us. We have so many different subpersonalities running around internally, and they show up at different times in our daily living. And some of them never show up because we told them no more. You can't come out to play ever again. And those parts that we told we can't come out to, those parts, we want to shed light on them. And you know what? This is a process. It's layer by layer. Healing is layer by layer. It's not a quick fix. It's a beautiful process of unfolding, uncovering, discovering more of who we were created to be. So I hope this video inspired you in 5, 10, 15, 20 ways or another. Just feel free to reach out for support. I'm always here to hold a space of love for you, to help you guide you through this process. I know you can do it if you choose. I believe in you, and I love you.